The president described the Kyiv regime as a terrorist regime. It was the regime's leadership that consciously gave the order, the command to blow up a passenger train. This is nothing other than state-level terrorism.
The Kremlin has issued a sharp warning to Ukraine over its latest cross-border attacks. Russia said that it will respond to Ukrainian strikes when and how its military sees fit, calling Kyiv's actions terrorism. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov echoed Russian President Vladimir Putin's claim that Kyiv's leadership ordered the deadly rail attack. Peskov said that this proves Ukraine is engaging in terrorism at the state level, using violence to strike civilians.
The president described the Kyiv regime as a terrorist regime. It was the regime's leadership that consciously gave the order, the command to blow up a passenger train. This is nothing other than state-level terrorism. Naturally, the fact that the Kyiv regime has acquired all the characteristics of a terrorist regime cannot be ignored. This will be considered. But you know that at yesterday's meeting, our Minister of Foreign Affairs expressed the view that despite this, at the working level, it is necessary to continue contacts. And this viewpoint was supported by the head of state.
Ukraine used drones to target Russian bomber bases deep inside Siberia and the Arctic North last weekend. The strikes hit airfields housing long-range bombers, showing Ukraine's reach far beyond the front line. Russia also blamed Kyiv for destroying rail bridges in the south, killing 7 people in the process. Moscow accuses Ukraine of targeting civilian infrastructure, including railways it says were used by passengers. Tensions have risen steadily as both sides increase cross-border attacks and battlefield offensives. The Kremlin confirmed Putin spoke with U.S. President Donald Trump, updating him on the situation and Russia's planned response. Russia has now warned that retaliation is inevitable, but the timing and scale will be decided by its military command. The Kremlin said that its military would decide how and when to respond to Ukrainian attacks on its territory.
Dear Russian and Kazakhstani friends, esteemed employees and veterans of the Baikonur Cosmodrome, I warmly congratulate you on the momentous anniversary, the 70th anniversary of the legendary Baikonur Cosmodrome. It was on June 2, 1955, that a state decision was made in the Soviet Union to establish a unique rocket testing range, the future first spaceport of the planet. Just 10 years after the end of the Great Patriotic War, the multinational Soviet people, who had endured a terrible tragedy and enormous losses, were able not only to raise from the ruins the destroyed cities and towns, to ensure powerful economic and technological growth, but also to take a giant step into the future, to begin implementing grand and ambitious plans, paving the way into space, toward the stars. The creation of Baikonur, like the implementation of the space program as a whole, is a true feat, an example of selflessness and heroism. We pay tribute to the titanic, dedicated work of hundreds of thousands of people from all the Soviet republics. To those who were pioneers, who designed and built Baikonur, and who worked at the Cosmodrome from its very foundation, we fondly remember the scientists and engineers, pilots, test specialists, civilian personnel, and military servicemen whose hard work, talent, and courage wrote the glorious chronicle of national and world cosmonautics. Here at Baikonur, the countdown to a new era in human history began. Here, dreams became reality. It was from here, in 1957, that the R-7 rocket was launched with the first artificial satellite of the Earth. And on April 12, 1961, Yuri Gagarin, launching from Baikonur, became the first human to orbit our planet in a spacecraft. The history of Baikonur is filled with many other remarkable chapters. These include the flight of the first woman cosmonaut, Valentina Tereshkova, in 1963, the launch of the world's first manned orbital station, Salyut 1, in 1971, and the launch of the reusable spacecraft Buran in 1988. It was from here, in 1998, that the launch of the Zarya module took place, marking the beginning of the construction of the International Space Station, which remains in orbit to this day. In total, Baikonur has carried out more than 2,500 launches. More than 200 cosmonauts have been sent into orbit from its launch pads. Representatives of many countries have had the opportunity to fly. Among them are scientists who have conducted unique scientific experiments in space, as well as promising fundamental and applied research. In short, it is symbolic that the Cosmodrome was once named Baikonur, which translates from Kazakh as a rich land. The Cosmodrome's contribution to international scientific and technological progress is truly immense. It cannot be overestimated. Even today, Baikonur is one of the largest and most advanced cosmodromes in the world. The potential of this multifunctional complex, where about 7,000 employees work, is actively utilized in the space programs of Russia, the Commonwealth of Independent States, and many other countries. And, of course, Baikonur is one of the most prominent symbols of the strategic partnership between Russia and Kazakhstan. Dozens of treaties and agreements have been signed between our countries, regulating all areas of activity at the Cosmodrome and the city of Baikonur. Baikonur is a clear example of how cooperation and integration serve the interests of both countries, contribute to enhancing international prestige, and strengthen the positions of Russia and Kazakhstan at the forefront of science and innovation across a wide range of high-tech industries. Russia has done much and will continue to do much for the development of the city of Baikonur and for the social support of its residents, both Russians and Kazakhs. The active use of the Cosmodrome and the creation of conditions for its continued operation remain our absolute priorities. Dear friends, I wish you good health and success for the benefit of our national space industry and for the strengthening of the partnership between Russia and Kazakhstan. Once again, I congratulate you on this memorable anniversary.